And there are many ways that a psychopathic narcissist punishes their victim. It's not just taking away intimacy. It's not just the silent treatment. It can be grooming another person. It could be flirting with someone else right in front of you. It can be verbally abusing you, physically abusing you, tormenting you, harassing you, stalking you, trying to deliberately ruin your life, cutting off your funds, just making your life a living hell over one little thing that you did or didn't do that went against their expectation of you. Yo, what's up, fam? Welcome back to the show. This is PsychopathEXposure. I'm your host, Kita. Reading off a comment today from Eileen Love. Eileen says, I'm so grateful for having found your channel and those in your tribe who survive and return in the most deliberate manner to warn and advise the rest of us who are crawling out of hell. My pleasure, Eileen, and thanks to everybody that actually gets through this narcissistic abuse and recovers and comes out of it on the other side and takes the time to return and leave a comment for those that are still struggling and for those that are new to this type of abuse, for those that are just discovering what narcissist personality disorder is, people that are just discovering that they've been married to a full-blown psychopath. Thanks for taking the time to return, share your story, your strength and hope, so that those that are struggling right now can say, hey, you know what? That person's story sounds a lot worse than mine, and here they are sharing how much better their life is. It's kind of like an Amazon review. People that get their products and they're satisfied, they don't take the time to go back and leave a positive review. Those positive reviews are usually fake. It's the negative reviews. Those are the ones, when they screw up your order, and those people just can't wait to go back on there. Yelp too, go on there and just rip into the company, talk a lot of trash. But when things are good, most of the time people don't take the time out of their busy day to share their positive experience. So thanks for everybody that does. Thanks for everyone that still hangs out, because this is a lifelong trauma. Doesn't mean you're going to be suffering from it, and it doesn't mean that the PTSD is going to be haunting you every minute of the day, but it's a lifelong trauma. It does stay with you, it does change you, hence why a lot of people continue watching these videos, to continue getting educated, even though sometimes watching the videos may trigger something uncomfortable when you remember some of the stuff that they did and you see how many people it's happening to. But on the other side of the token, it keeps things fresh in your head as a reminder, especially if you're still entangled with a person, like you're married, you have kids, so you still have to see the psychopath narcissist. These videos do help remind you of who exactly you're dealing with. So you do not get that little delusion and you start thinking that, oh, well, maybe the narcissist will change. Maybe this time they're telling the truth, because let me tell you, it never gets better with these disordered scum. So let me continue reading Eileen's comments. So she says, I've never experienced the levels of sheer degenerate abuse from within my own consciousness to the tip of my pinky toe. I am a recent survivor, and I can tell you, these individuals destroy any areas of weakness you ever had. As ignorant and idiotic as they are, unaware that just as much as they abused you and others, they are destined to suffer exponentially. They end up digging a grave for themselves the moment they decide to become a diabolical succubus, or incubus for that matter. I experienced the deranged, violent type, and I lost a lot. A lot. I fell for the BS, But crawling out that bitch is the most triumphant moment ever. Now, I'm loving learning to walk. This taught me how much I didn't love myself. I mean, the flags were all there. I was just too empathetic for the devil. The devil ain't give two ducks about my kindness. They just needed me to play the role they wrote for me. Well, I quit the role and laughed at the script and told everyone what a shitty and abusive slave driver director the scumbag douchebag really is. They're all little Weinsteins and Epsteins and Diddies. These are not the most sophisticated folks. They're just kindergarten level liars and scammers in adult bodies. To think I was once intimate with a deranged freak who dumped reckless bodies into my temple is a thought that nauseates me to the core of my bone. I was just transaction in his fantasy of debauchery and illusion, a figment of the devil's imagination. Wow, that was quite powerful. That was quite powerful. Thanks for that. Thanks for coming back and sharing your gratitude with us. Thanks for detailing exactly what these scumbags are, diabolical succubi. It's a shame, right? It's a shame how many of us fell for the BS. They are really kindergarten liars trapped in adult bodies. I can't tell you how many times I caught them, let's just say them at this point, in lies after lies after lies. They weren't even that intelligent. They weren't crafted that well. They thought that they were intelligent. But then you pay attention to what they're really doing, and they're self-sabotaging it the whole way. The only reason we fall for it is when we're trauma bonded. The only time that we fall for it deeply and we start looking the other way and turning the other cheek is when we are afraid of losing something that we don't even have anymore. Let's just be real. But we're just afraid of losing them. We're afraid of being alone. We're afraid of having to go through the hassles of a divorce, the hassles of moving out, the hassles of the confrontation, and having to get into the fight again, having to call them out on the stuff again, and for them to just gaslight and word salad us back. They never take accountability. They're the victims, remember? They are the victims. But they are indeed diabolical, and it does take a toll in your psyche. It's going to be hard to trust people after you experience a narcissistic, abusive entanglement, especially with a psychopath, a violent psychopath. It's a shame. You know, there's so many people out there in the world that we could have partnered with, romantically partnered with. And the odds of it being a malignant, psychopathic demon, it's not that, like, the ratio, it's not big. It's not in your favor. It's actually in your favor not to meet these people. But we did. We did. And now what are you going to do? Are you going to throw your life away and just give up? Because the choice is yours. You still have an opportunity to turn this around. I certainly did. And this trauma is still in there somewhere. And sometimes I'll have a little hiccup. Sometimes something might trigger a little PTSD that's still dormant in there from time to time, but I know what it is. I can recognize what it is now. I can step back and realize, oh man, I've been triggered by this thing that I thought was buried. And it is buried, but it's anything that's psychological, can resurface. You can be watching a movie, you can be playing a video game, you can be reading a book, and something crosses your line of sight or your ears, and it just triggers something, right? And as bad as that may may feel at the time. I always remember, hey, nothing's happening right now. Like, this is not reality. This is just like an aftermath. This is just a little trigger. This is just a little hiccup. I'm not in the situation anymore. I haven't been for a very long time. A lot of you that are watching these videos haven't been in that situation in a long time either. And you're struggling with the rumination. You're struggling with the separation. But you're not even dating this person anymore. And I want you guys to remember how bad it really was. I want you guys to remember, hey, as bad as you may be feeling right now, it's 500 times worse if you were still entangled with the monster. And for those that are unfortunately still entangled with the monster and are still playing their game and doing the back and forth, falling for the BS, giving them a 500th chance only to get burned again. You're doing this to yourself. You got to understand that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. These people will not change. These people have written a script. They wrote a role that you were supposed to play. And as long as you were playing that role and doing everything that you were supposed to do, that they wanted you to do to benefit their master plan, then all was dandy. The minute you deviated from that role, now you gotta pay. Now the narcissist and the psychopath, they're gonna punish you. And there are many ways that a psychopathic narcissist punishes their victim. It's not just taking away intimacy. It's not just the silent treatment. It can be grooming another person. It could be flirting with someone else right in front of you. It can be verbally abusing you, physically abusing you, tormenting you, harassing you, stalking you, trying to deliberately ruin your life, cutting off your funds, just making your life a living hell over one little thing that you did or didn't do that went against their expectation of you. But that's right. The psychopath expects you to behave a certain way. They have expectations, and a lot of them, they're unwritten expectations that you or I didn't sign up for. Sometimes that expectations means do not question their shady behavior. Do not question when they're doing something that gives you the impression that they might be having an affair. You're supposed to look the other way. And if by any chance you start digging and you start interrogating and you're like, hey, wait a second, but what do you... The minute you start doing that, uh-oh, there comes the tantrum, there comes the blame shift, there comes the projection. They're going to start calling you a narcissist. They're going to start calling you the abuser, because that's what they like to do. They like to play the victim, because as long as the narcissist is the victim, right? You know, once again, they're the center of the center of attention. But now all eyes are on you, because if they're the victim, that means you're the shooter, you're the abuser. So the spotlight's off. Yeah, as much as they like the spotlight on them, this is the time where the spotlight gets pointed at you, because you're the bad guy. And as long as everyone's looking at you and you're the bad guy, then they can continue to get away with their garbage. So they will blame shift. They will throw that tantrum to make sure you don't ever question them again. And what happens when they throw that tantrum and you're afraid to stand up for yourself? Now you start walking on eggshells, because you're holding in the anger, you're holding in your human need to communicate and to ask questions and to get to a solid conclusion, to get to the bottom of things. And since the narcissist does not let you have that conversation, your brain makes up whatever answer it wants to make up, because the brain always has to know. The brain always has to know. That's why we meditate. It's to train our brain that it's okay to not know and just be still in the moment. Oh, but Kita, isn't it better to know things? Hear me out. Sometimes we can get overwhelmed with information. Some things are not needed to know. We do not need to know the answers to everything at once, especially things that we cannot ever know the answer to because there are things in the future that haven't been determined yet. It's like, I don't know, getting some blood work done and you got to wait a week to get the results. You don't know what those results are going to be. That's why you took the test. So you get anxious, you start worrying, you start ruminating on the possibility, oh, what if it comes out, back bad or negative or this, and you start creating all these narratives and they drive you nuts. And none of those are true yet because the truth hasn't been revealed. Wouldn't it be better to just stay present, stay in the moment, live your life, do what you need to do, and the day you have the test results in front of you, then you can review them. Then you can assess the situation, and if you got to take action on some of those things, and you take action. That will be the next step. That will be the next step. So when you're dealing with a narcissist, you're not sure. Are they going to break up with you today? Are they going to ghost you? Oh my God, are they going to ghost you? Oh my God, they're ghosting me. How long? Is it going to be for 6 hours? Is it going to be for 8 hours? Are they going to answer the phone tonight? Okay, I understand they're not going to answer the phone for a few hours, but what about tonight? I'm sure tonight they're going to answer, right? They're going to respond to my text, right? Oh my God, they're not responding to my text. Oh my God, what if they don't respond to tomorrow morning? Oh my God, what if they don't respond for 2 days? Oh my God, what if it's a week, a month? Oh no, what if for a whole year the narcissist just ghosts me? What am I going to do? And meanwhile, it's only been a few minutes that you dispatched the text and you're already creating a narrative. Because you just need to know right now. So that state of uncertainty, that anxiety, makes you weak. And the narcissist over there, right? Oh, they're going to prey on that. That's what the narcissist wants. It wants you to be weak. And they will exploit your weaknesses to the fullest. Every shortcoming you have, every fear that you have, every disability that you may have, whatever it is, anything that they consider a weakness, they are going to exploit to the fullest level. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not the type of relationship that any of us would want to be in. That's the type of relationship that nobody signs up for. That's the type of relationship where your partner is the enemy. You're supposed to trust your partner. Your partner is not, it's supposed to, if you have a weakness, they're supposed to be the one that has the, they can help you through that. As they have weaknesses too, and you can help them, maybe their weaknesses are your strengths, and you help each other. You help each other grow. You move forward together. You build something. I mean, that's how friendships are too. You're not supposed to exploit each other's weaknesses when you're in a relationship or a friendship. That's what enemies do. Or in professional sports, that's what the opposing team does. They're going to exploit the weakness of the other team because they want to win. See, the psychopath always has to win. They have to beat you. They're at war with you. Isn't that sick? You're dating someone that's at war with you. What do you expect? Does war not come with major anxiety? Your cortisol levels are through the roof. You can't continue dating someone like this. You gotta go. You gotta go, and I can tell you, when you get out of this and you do the work, you come out of it on the other side and you start looking back and you're like, whoa, I can't believe I was intimate with the Grim Reaper. I cannot believe it. And then you start naturally to get grossed out and turned off. And that's the best thing that could happen, because a lot of survivors that are still struggling with the trauma bond, still trauma bonded to the narcissist, and it's because they're still highly sexually attracted to them. And the minute they get their fix, it's like everything is great again. Everything's great and wonderful until it happens again. And it always does, doesn't it? But once you're grossly disgusted and turned off, and you know that no matter what, even if this is the last person on earth, you would never sleep with them again, well, now the narcissist doesn't have that much power over you, do they? And as long as they're not a deranged sociopath, it's just going to harass and stalk you for the rest of your life. And this is probably a good thing, because they're going to get bored. They're going to realize that they have no power or control over you. So you're a waste of their time. And God forbid they waste their time on someone that's pathetic, right? Now, they're going to distort reality. They're going to look at you as a weak, pathetic vegetable that offers them no value, that's an inconvenience, that knowing you, it's an inconvenience to them, and they will cut you off, find another victim, and obsess over that person, try to control that person, and that will become their next project. That's the best thing that could happen for you. That's the best thing that can happen for you. Because as long as you keep giving these son of a bitches the benefit of the doubt, they are going to continue abusing you. They're going to continue having power and control over your life, over your mind, over your heart, over your soul. The choice is yours, guys. If you need help, I do have a coaching program, or we can workshop through this nightmare together. I have a link below. If you want to get more information on that, shoot me an email and I'll send you some more info. I would love to work with you and help you navigate through this, but you got to take the first step. You got to be ready to end this relationship. You got to be ready to end this relationship and do the work that's necessary to be able to come out of this by yourself. You don't need to be married, you don't need to be in a relationship in order to get healthy. As a matter of fact, I highly advise not to jump into a new relationship after getting out of this situation. You want to give yourself time to heal, to actually build real inner strength where you can be alone and you can still be happy. You can be alone and you can still find inspiration to get up in the morning and enjoy life and do the work and do the things that you were put on this earth to do. Whether or not you have a significant other, that should be irrelevant. That really should be irrelevant. So shoot me an email, click the link below in the description if you want more details on my coaching program. Till then, guys, as usual, thanks for watching till the end. Drop a like if you got some value out of this video, and comment below if you've also healed and survived from an abusive narcissistic entanglement or psychopathic abusive relationship. Share your strength and hope with the rest of the community so they can also see that there's a way out, okay? Till then, my name is Kira, this is Psychopath Exposure, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.